How was the status of the Kshatriyas changing?
Yes, that is what I was actually going to say, that we see that we cannot assess the Kshatriya, this social category, like the Brahmanas, only from the Dharmashastric ideal. We see that the Kshatriya origin is no longer the precondition for establishing a ruling power. Recent scholarship has tried to understand the Rajput phenomenon that we are seeing in Rajputana, and trying to understand this phenomenon in terms of a social and political process whereby several clans and subclans in Rajputana, in their desperate bid to get political power, were looking for legitimation, and they were aspiring to the Rajput status through this legitimation. And many of these clans and subclans, they came from the indigenous background, basically. In the modern version, we might call that a tribal background. And you also find some non-indigenous groups in this background, in this category. Now, what is happening? That we are finding that, again, these people, these clans and subclans, they are aspiring to the Rajput status, and they are looking for some kind of sanction. Here again, the Brahmin priests, the so-called priestly groups, they were coming to their aid. They were fabricating genealogies. So, in fact, if you go through some of the Vangsha Talikas of these clans, some of the clans which were becoming important Rajput powers, we find that there is a lot of fabrication of genealogies, many of them claiming descent from the lunar and solar families, and also we find that there is an upholding of the family cult, which was becoming the dynastic cult, often related to the sectarian bhakti cult. So it is in this condition, it is in this way that we have to understand Rajputization, and this was a pan-Indian phenomenon that we are seeing, which can be called Kshatriyization, which can be seen in the rest of India. Also, we find that there is an intimate relationship between the priestly community and the ruling lineage, because the ruling lineage needed sanction from the priestly community, and the priestly community also looked for revenue, free villages, agrahara land, etc. from the ruling lineage. So there is kind of an intimate relationship. Another way in which these lineages were trying to establish these clans and subclans, I'm saying in the context of Rajputana, they were trying to establish themselves was through marital alliances with the already established political powers. So it is in this way that we can talk about Rajputization or Kshatriyization in the context of early medieval society.